Hey everyone, Brian the Geek here, and today I'm going to be looking at the Darth Talon Gentle Giant Mini Bust. Darth Talon is one of the most interesting expanded universe characters in my opinion. Very, very cool, part of the One Sith movement under Darth Krayt. Her story is a lot of fun to read through. Unfortunately, I've never had access to the actual comic books, so a lot of what I've done is research online, chronicling her story and her powers and everything she had going on. And one of the things I find most interesting is her story never actually wrapped up. Like, we don't know, how did she die, what happened after kind of the one Sith fell and she kind of faded into obscurity. There's a whole lot of room there for speculation, and I've even considered, doing a fan film kind of around that idea. It's still a ways off because there's a lot of logistics, not least of which is all of the makeup and costuming that you've got going on with her. That's one of the big hurdles, is figuring out how to make that not look really cheap and crappy, because I'm never a fan of making cheap and crappy stuff. Something that I've always found interesting since I found out about it is George Lucas actually intended to use a version of Darth Talon, at least kind of that general look, in his 7, 8, and 9 films if he'd made them. There was concept art out there for it and different things. The 7, 8, 9 we got, honestly, fairly disappointing, and it makes me a little sad to think about. We could have gotten like a super badass female Sith Lord if George Lucas had, kept Star Wars and had decided to make the next 3. Or if Disney had kind of gone with some of his treatments and things like that. So that's always bummed me out a little bit. But Darth Talon is super cool. She looks super cool. You can see all the Sith designs on her and the super cool armor. Obviously there's not, a ton of armor, but she still looks incredibly cool. In the comics, she's both used like her super brutality and her sensuality to get what she wants, manipulate Jedi, do a lot of cool stuff. She's absolutely merciless. She's a Sith assassin, so she's really good at finding and taking out people. There's so much story, and I can't keep it all in my brain, but there's a lot of cool little stories. And I really wish that more of it had been able to be explored. And, part of me is torn of if I want her to come into canon or not, because obviously she'd be changed and modified, and with Disney in charge, they'd probably water her down quite a bit because, she's sexy and she's brutal and just doesn't really fit the Disney Star Wars anymore. So I feel like I'd like her to stay in Legends, stay in the EU, but I love having this little cool figure of her. The design is really well made. She is one of 3,850, and this is number 1810. So check that out. These tend to be a little bit more pricey. I was lucky and did really well on a bidding war, but a lot of these that I've seen recently on eBay are $200 or $300. So it's definitely something if you're I love Darth Talon, she is super cool. It's worth the money. If you're meh, she's whatever. This is a figure that I would skip, because you can get a lot of figures for much cheaper. She and the Oola that I've got back there tend to be some of the more expensive, along with figures like Mara Jade that I don't have. She's probably the most expensive figure that I've seen on eBay. She's running closer to $400, so I won't be picking up a Mara Jade anytime soon, unfortunately. But going back to Darth Talon and the figure, very well made figure, very cool. Love having it on the shelf. Hope that you guys enjoyed this little video on Darth Talon, and I will catch all of you very soon.